Welcome to ZKast, everyone. I'm Zeus Caravallo from ZK Research, and I'm here at the Cisco booth inside the Expo Hall at Enterprise Connect 2024 in Orlando. I'm here with Chris Barwick. You are VP of Go-to-Market for the Webex Group. Just a quick bio on yourself, a little bit of background and what that role encompasses at Cisco.
Absolutely. I'm excited to be here. It's a really exciting time. My name is Chris Barwick. I've been at Cisco for 24 years.
24 years.
I sold my first IP phone 23 years ago, back when we had active voice for voicemail. We do not have a voicemail company yet. I've had lots of different roles in the company, sales leaders. I ran America's Collab for 5 years. I then ran go-to-market for our collaboration business. And then Sonora and Javed came to me and asked me to focus on hybrid work and our devices business for about the last year. I traveled to like 40 different cities and about 12 different countries meeting with customers and partners.
So we might have overlapped a little bit when I was a customer, because we were, in the early 2000s, we were actually one of the first customers to try doing hoot and holler over IP.
Okay. Yeah.
We had voice over frame relay with the Cisco MC38.
I remember all of those.
Yeah, and then it became a VAR, and we sold a lot of Avid. So yeah, even though that wasn't a product, people thought it was a product.
I lived with the Avid demo kit in the back of my car for like 4 years.
Yeah, so a lot's changed since then.
A lot has changed.
Obviously, and just thoughts on this show. Obviously it's all AI here, but this is, I think, given all the hype around AI and all the changes in the UC industry, this has been a pretty highly anticipated show. So what are your thoughts so far?
It's a really exciting show. First off, I'm really, really proud of the solution that Cisco has put together for our customers. I feel like we deliver the best collaboration platform at the best price. It was exciting to see Javed get to present that on stage. There's a lot of AI at the show. I was at an AI panel on Monday morning. I think what's exciting for us is that we're taking our Webex AI assistant and executing it across our entire collaboration portfolio. That is included with our Webex suite. But everything that we announced at Webex One, we've now turned into reality, and customers are implementing it, and it's having a huge impact on their business.
Yeah, well, that's good to see. And I do like that AI strategy as well, because you have one assistant that spans all your products.
Yeah.
I think the risk that a lot of companies have, especially when they're using one product for UC and one for CC, is that expression, good data leads to good insights.
Yeah.
Well, silos of data actually to fragmented insights. And so if I'm using one product for one thing and another one for this, then I'm really only going to get part of the insights that I want, right? And so
absolutely,
you can bring a much richer experience that way. Now, as you mentioned, we saw Javed Khan, the GM of Webex, his keynote this morning.
Yep.
And he talked. In fact, I want to talk about some of the new devices he announced. But he started off the presentation though talking about a hybrid work study that Cisco recently completed, and I thought there was some interesting data points. So can you just briefly go through that study and what you learned from that?
Yeah, we've done this study multiple places around the world, and when I was traveling the world, I checked in with customers and partners all the time, seeing where they were. A couple of things, 98% of meetings are going to have a remote participant.
Yeah.
That remote participant
That's a staggering number, though.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like that's 49 out of 50 meetings, right? What happens is that remote participant might be the most important person in that meeting and the decision maker. And so you have to treat that person as an equal participant in that room. And so what you did for video before the pandemic isn't good enough anymore. You now have to have this incredible, equitable meeting experience, and we delivered on that. The other stat that blew me away is that customers are still deploying over half of their spaces for individual workspace.
Yes.
If you're working from home, I've already got an individual workspace. Why would I come into the office? People want more collaborative workspaces. And so at Cisco, we deploy 70% collaborative workspaces and 30% individual now.
Yeah, and I've actually talked to Mark, your facility, well, I don't know what his role is exactly, but I've talked
Mark Miller?
Mark Miller, about that, and he said, prior to the pandemic, it was actually opposite.
Totally.
You had 30 collaborative and 70 individual, right? And so there's another expression actually that says, don't commute to compute, which means that if you're going to sit on your computer all day long, don't do it in the office, right? And I think that's the lack of strategy companies have had. Now, I know Cisco did announce some new devices this morning. I want to talk about those, but before we get to that, talk about Cisco's thought process around devices, because I still go into a lot of companies and I look in their conference rooms, and the thought process from those companies is, a device is a device is a device. Everything, they're all the same. I'll just throw some good enough thing, and I look and they got a webcam sitting in the corner on top of a TV, and then they wonder why nobody uses the thing, right?
Look, I think that if everybody wants the return to office to happen, and even from the survey you saw that most employees want the return to office to happen. What's important is that CIOs know that everybody worked via video during the pandemic. When they're coming back in the office, they expect to have a high quality, better than home video quality experience in their conference room. So what good is a conference room if it just has a monitor and it just has a speakerphone? And so customers are deploying more video, and customers may be going from 10% of their conference rooms video enabled to 50% or 100%, but most of them are not hiring more IT staff. So the most important thing they need to do is they need to be able to deploy simply, dramatically simplify their conference rooms, and do it at scale without adding more IT staff. We went with a city at Cisco Live in Europe. That city had 0 video-enabled conference rooms before the pandemic, 600 after the pandemic.
Wow.
They said the only reason they could do it is because of the advantage that Control Hub gives.
Yes.
I can deploy the products in seconds, and it just works. The other thing that customers struggle with is once I've got 50% of my conference rooms video enabled, I don't even want to think about refreshing them. Because of the fact that we put NVIDIA chipsets inside of our products, our customers can expect our products to last for 5 or 6 or 7 years. That's twice as long as any of our competition. That investment protection is absolutely key to a customer strategy.
Yeah, in fact, I think, I was talking to one of your partners this morning, and we were talking about Control Hub, and he was telling me that he thinks Control Hub actually is the magic behind the Webex experience, and it's something, frankly, I don't think you market to enough. It's an excellent tool.
I agree. We had another customer in Europe. They're a large pharmaceutical company. They had made the decision to go Microsoft MTR. Our devices weren't certified, so they just started deploying a competitor's device. Can I say a competitor's device?
Sure.
They were Logi devices.
Yeah.
So they were deployed 30 Logi devices, and the guy that managed the network said, I spend more time managing the 30 Logi MTRW devices than I spend managing the 600 existing video rooms. They made the decision because of Control Hub, but also because of Thousand Eyes, because we've integrated Thousand Eyes with our endpoints. In all of my critical rooms, if something goes wrong, I can see full network path visibility from within Control Hub and know exactly what's going wrong. That's a game changer.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Now, talk about, I know one of the reasons why you got to put NVIDIA devices or chips in these devices because they do a lot of AI. Right. So when you think about Cisco's broader AI strategy, the collaboration group's broader AI strategy anyways, how do you think about what's done in software, what's done on hardware, and then why would I want to do AI in hardware?
That's really important. Look, there's lots of large language models out there, and we have our own, and we're excited about what we're doing with the Webex AI assistant across our portfolio. But when we start talking about conference rooms, real-time media models matter. What AI am I going to do at the edge from an audio and a video perspective to enable these next generation experiences? So we've actually now GA'd Crossview. Crossview is where we take our quad camera in the front of the room, pair it with 2 PTC cameras on the side of the room, and I'll automatically frame based upon the best speaker. Even if people turn around, I'll pull the best camera to do that. That's available through the AI chipset and our software on our products. But the great thing is that's available in a Webex meeting, but when I hang up and join a Microsoft meeting, that AI is available in there, or a Zoom meeting, or a Google meeting. Nobody else does that because we're doing AI at the edge versus in the cloud.
And so some people may not realize that, but you can actually run Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and Webex meetings on the same device.
One button to push for all of them.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, I can do that whether I'm in Room OS mode, Room Experience mode, or in the Microsoft Teams mode, because on the Microsoft Teams mode, we've just added on a right swipe that I can now actually click to join a Zoom button, and it joins via CRC instead of WebRTC.
Oh, that's awesome, actually.
Brand new.
That's great. Yeah. Now let's get to the big news, the news from the show.
Okay.
You had some announcements in the device area. Talk about those.
Okay, so we're standing in front of the Board Pro G2, so I'll start here. As you can see, we are in Microsoft Teams mode. You can see here that I can join a Webex meeting, and I can join a Microsoft meeting. One button to push, no reboot.
Now do I have to reboot it? No reboot?
Nothing.
Oh.
Unlike all of our competition. Why we can do that is because we took Room OS, that's our Linux OS platform on our video devices, and we put it in a secure container. Room OS is there. We put Android, MTRA, in a secure container within our OS. So all of the capabilities of Room OS we've been building for a decade are all available in all of those meeting types. Now, this is our brand new board G2. We tend to refresh our devices about every 6 years or so. Our old version of the board had dual cameras. This also has dual cameras. What shocks me, we're the only all-in-one board manufacturer that has 2 cameras in our device.
And what does that do for you?
So, the camera I need for the person whiteboarding here is very different than the camera I need for someone 20 feet over there.
I see.
So this camera has 4 times the density of our previous camera, but we did more. It has a brand new NVIDIA chipset in this product that has 15 times more horsepower than the previous chipset, which already had more horsepower than our competition. We added an extra Ethernet port. We added an extra HDMI port. We doubled the CPU power. Because I can whiteboard with Webex on here, and with Microsoft whiteboards, and with Miro, and with Mural, we wanted more processing power for those really large, complex whiteboards to make them be more snappy. And then the best part is we added Wi-Fi 6E to this device, because people tend to deploy them on wheels and move them around, so Wi-Fi is important. And then I think maybe the best part is that this is the exact same price as our previous board.
And then what are some of the AI features in the device itself?
So
because you mentioned the camera thing.
So we've got the camera thing. We are obviously doing incredible world-class noise removal, but we do more than that. We can actually do noise removal on the device. We do my voice only, so I can optimize for my voice. I'm in a loud environment like this. That's perfect.
We should use that for...
Exactly, we got your stuff. I can also remove noise from the remote participant. If someone's joining remotely and they're noisy, I can do that on the endpoint. Then we get into video stuff. I can support cross view with this device with extra cameras, so I can add more cameras. I can support meeting zones. That becomes really important if I build this out in a public area. I can define the zone, and then we'll only pull audio and video from that zone, and we won't frame people that walk by outside of the zone. Really important for large conference rooms, especially ones with windows. I can do extended view with this device, so if I've got a really, really large room, I can connect a PTZ camera to here, and I can frame someone appropriately 100 feet away.
And so if you try to do that in software on the PC, you could never handle that, right?
It's just not going to happen. If you think about, how old's your laptop?
A couple years.
When your laptop's like 2.5 years old, you're like, I want my refresh.
I have a hard time running Word.
Now, exactly. I want my refresh. I'm now going to ask a laptop with an AI chip about as powerful as my cell phone to be my real-time audio and video AI engine to deliver cinematic distance zero experiences. If I'm going to do that with a PC platform, maybe I get it to work, but I'm going to have to replace it every 2 years. Customers can't do that.
That makes sense. And there was another device as well, right?
We did. I'm super proud of John Reeder and the team and what they've done. When I found out about this product, the Cisco 9800 series phones, about 6 months ago, I sat down with them, and I sold my first phone 23 years ago, so I started poking holes. We spent 2 hours together, and I was like, I guess when you only build products so long, you come out with the perfect product. So they've thought of everything. We have solved the problem for real estate people with our video devices. Our video devices have always on people count, and even if you're not in a video meeting, we do the people count. So our IT people and our real estate people know exactly how conference rooms are being used. They had no idea how desks were being used. Now with our new 9800 series phones, I can reserve a desk. When I go into the office, I can wayfind that desk, because a desk is harder to find than a conference room. When I get to the desk, I QR code to log in. I can visually see that because my phone now has red lights on it, and the ones that are available have green lights on it. That surfaces all the control hub and into Cisco Spaces. So now as a real estate person or a facilities person is making a plan, they know exactly how their conference rooms are being used and exactly how their desks are being used. So I love that. It's also an amazing phone, of course. We also have an emergency button on the phones where we call it an action button. I can program that button to whatever I need, but one of the common use cases is an emergency button. I can use that for 911 calls. It's integrated already with Red Sky, with Informacast, single wire Informacast. It's compliant with certain laws that require a panic button, or if you're a big retail store, I can use that for overhead.
I think the call at a phone is maybe not doing that thing justice.
It's much more than a phone, but I will say I went through a demo this morning, and they put someone on speakerphone. I was way far away, and I was blown away how good the speakerphone was. But then they had someone call in with a lot of background noise, and on our 2 higher end phones, we'll do the AI right there on the phone. They took the remote background noise out of the phone call. I was blown away how good it was. So it's a great phone too.
Yeah, that's amazing you can do that. You've always had good audio quality though, all the way back to your early phones, but that actually makes the phone usable in so many more places.
The other things I would say about the phone, it's the most environmental friendly phone that we've ever done. So from a sustainability perspective, anywhere from 74 to 78% recycled plastic in the phone. We also have 100 million phones out there, so we can take back all those old phones and make sure they're recycled the proper way. And then the way that customers deploy them is also really important. If you're an existing Cisco customer for calling, I can unplug my old phone, plug in my new phone, it self-configures. If you're a brand new Cisco customer for the phones, I can actually configure them with NFC. I don't even have to take the phone out of the box. I can configure a phone completely, including wireless credentials, in 15 seconds.
Well,
that's amazing.
That's a new meaning to out of the box, I suppose.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And so last question for you.
Okay.
You've had a lot of innovation,
Yeah.
going back to Webex One, Enterprise Connect, Cisco Live, right? What's coming next? Because it seems like the pace of innovation has certainly picked up.
It's accelerating, and the pace of innovation is accelerated because of that we are a single platform. When I deliver some of these new cool AI capabilities, I can deploy it across our entire portfolio very, very quickly. So that gives us an advantage. And that's why you're seeing the pace of innovation come up. What's next? Well, there's some things I can't tell you, especially not with the camera on.
Well, you can tell me.
All right. What I will say is that we're going to take it to the next level to make it easier to deploy conference rooms. So easier to deploy and easier to manage. And so there's a couple of things coming this calendar year that will dramatically simplify how customer deploy a conference room, but also cross-view in conference rooms, how they deploy microphones in conference rooms. We're also taking Webex AI Assistant and applying it to Control Hub. So we'll automatically let you know that you have 4 conference rooms that are large, that people camping with 2 or 3 people all day long, and recommend you make some changes like that.
Oh, that's great.
So we're just getting started.
Yeah. So will you have those Cisco Live, Webex One?
I've got a couple of tricks up my sleeve for Cisco Live, and for Impact, and for probably Ignite with Microsoft too.
Okay, great. So I'll see you in Vegas.
You will.
All right.
Awesome.
Anything else you want to add?
No, just excited to be here, and I think I'm proud of what Java's leadership and the team have done. Best collaboration platform in the market at the best price. I'm excited to go.
I've been tracking Webex pre-Cisco days, and I can say the product's in the from a product perspective, it's in the best shape it's ever been in. So
I agree.
It's good to see. So, all right, Chris.
Awesome.
Appreciate you joining me. On behalf of Chris Barwick from Cisco, I'm ZS Caravallo from ZK Research. Thanks for watching. Please hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time on my next episode of ZKast.